As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be.
Oh man, it's 8 o'clock.
And so that'll make it a.
I don't need the spotlight. I shine just fine.
Hi, I'm Karma, and yes, I am a bitch.
Brav Bros. What? Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Brav Bros, your favorite podcast from the bros for everybody, for whoever wants to listen. I am your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the one and only Shoot Shoe Magoo.
Did you just have a stroke?
Shoot Shoe Magoo.
Ah, there we go. You got there.
I had to put it together.
You got there. That one's actually good. I feel like I'm on Thomas and Friends.
Yeah, Choo Choo Magoo.
Yeah. I should be a character on that.
I love.
We can get big enough so that I can get a character on Thomas and Friends, and he's got a mustache.
I can see the train.
I can see the train too.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
You have a Thomas the Tank Engine kind of face.
I do. It's round. Yeah, it's very round, and then the mustache I think would go well. It could probably just be like a grill on the train, right?
Oh my God!
A mustache grill.
Now I'm thinking of like Mater.
Or no. Hold on. Hear me out.
Okay.
Horns, like long horns coming out.
No, it doesn't make sense. Now.
But they're
it's not you.
But it's black.
I get it. I
The
understand.
mustache.
Why are there? Oh, you mean like
On the
beef
train.
horns?
No, I'm talking about like you.
Cattle horns?
Yeah, cattle horns, like on a. You see that like on a Cadillac or something.
Why you don't need that? That doesn't make
Why not?
sense because the
I'm just trying to see how like it
the
would
grill
work.
guard makes way more sense because it has like notches in it to make it look mustachioed like.
Yeah, we got to brainstorm on this one.
I did. It's brainstormed.
Let's bring in AI. We'll figure out get an AI.
God,
pick.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
That could actually work.
Yeah.
Choo
Talking about trains.
Choo Choo Magoo, the Tankaroo.
Works.
I like it. I'm
Yep.
glad you leaned into that. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure you would take it when I said
I
you
like
have a
it.
Thomas the Tank Engine kind of face.
Yeah. Hey, I know what it is.
I meant that with all due
Yeah.
respect. But we watched Jersey, so we're going to get into that shortly. But before we do, quick reminder, we have started Brav Bros Members, which is an opportunity for you guys to get exclusive access to what we are doing, what we're up to, and what we have planned in the future. We are offering multiple things, such as a weekly email with updates on who's coming on the show, what shows we're going on, live shows coming up, and exclusive access to tickets beforehand. We're also going to do a monthly Q&A on Zoom where you can talk with us face-to-face, ask us questions, talk some shit, whatever you want to do, we're here for you. The third thing, once we hit 250 members, we are offering exclusive episodes. We are going to start it out with a series that hopefully we get to do just continuously. Hopefully everybody likes it, but it is a Brav Bros guide to rom-coms, or we're leaning towards maybe calling it the bromance episodes.
Romance episodes.
Yeah.
It's starting to grow on me.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
And we're going to take a community vote, all of our members. What rom-com are we watching? We're going to watch that, and we're going to break it down similar to how we break down our Bravo shows. And then the last thing that you're going to be able to do is just give us your feedback. Give us your direct input as to what you want us to watch. Maybe we'll change it up in the future. I don't know.
What's your favorite rom-com?
I feel like it's a cop-out answer, but it's so fucking good that it's hard to say something else, is Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah, that's usually my favorite too. I recently watched The Holiday.
The Holiday is
lovely.
Wonderful.
Lovely.
Dev introduced me to The Holiday.
Yep.
And it was a great time.
It's a good movie.
You got Cameron Diaz,
Jude Law,
Jude Law,
Jack
Kate
Black,
Winslet.
Kate Winslet.
Yeah, it's just a
Good
wonderful
crew.
movie. And
Great crew.
you know what's nice about
What's
rom-coms?
that?
You leave feeling good.
Yeah.
You just feel
They
good.
always make you feel good. And if they don't, then you're not watching a rom-com.
Yeah, you're watching a
Drama.
drama.
Rama.
Is that a thing?
Romance drama? That probably is a thing.
A drama spelled Droma? No.
Drama?
Droma?
I don't know.
I don't know. But rom-coms.
Rom-coms.
Yeah.
But yeah, make sure you get in there, become a member. Tell us what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Just tell us what you want us to do, because it's going to allow us to branch out. We can do a bunch of other different things. We watch a lot of different TV shows. We might try to lead you one way because we really want to talk about a TV show.
Yeah, like House of the Dragon. That's just a hypothetical.
It's just a hypothetical. It comes out June 14th. So if you want to do it, become a member so that we can get 250 and then tell us to do that.
If that's what you want us to watch.
Saying
You want us to watch that. You want to watch that.
Yeah.
This is subliminal messaging.
Targaryens.
Start shoehorning in just like House of Dragon words.
Yeah, why not?
Rhaegar.
Dark sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're watching House of Dragons. Great. Good call, guys. Good call. But No, seriously, the link is in our bio to sign up on Instagram. It is $5 for the month, $50 for the year. Sign up, join the craze. Everyone's doing it. But let's get into some Jersey in this nothing episode that we watched. And
Boo.
I want to address something because we got a review on it, and we need to start doing our Rose and Thorn again. We have started doing so many episodes a week that I simply forgot.
I don't know what day of the week it is.
Yeah, so we will bring that back at some point. But this is kind of in that realm only because we got a review where somebody called out the fact that with OC we said it, with Jersey we said it, that they need to just like stop these shows and change them entirely or cancel them. Now, I think that it's important to note we seem to have joined Bravo in a transitional period because they're trying a lot of new things, and it's not the classic Bravo of old, like the Bravo of lore. There's a lot of things happening right now that a lot of the fans are not happy with. So we are not happy with it either, not because people are talking about it, but we're watching it. And the general consensus about Jersey is the majority of Jersey fans, not the crazy ones that talk all this crazy shit on Twitter, but the average Jersey fan is getting sick and tired of seeing the same fucking season every single year.
Yeah, and it's starting to play out exactly how we thought it would, where the majority of these scenes are the two different groups. One group will not shut the fuck up about the other person, the head of the other group. The other group, actually, I'm starting to lean towards, again, and I said this last week, at least when we see Teresa with her friends, they don't tend to talk about Marge and everybody else. They tend to talk about other things going on in their lives, which is fine, but it's not fun to watch. It's just boring.
Not this episode.
Yeah, not this. It kind of.
There's
I don't
only
know.
been two, so it's
There's only 2
50-50.
episodes, yeah. But it's just we're 2 episodes in, and we're already seeing what we thought was going to happen. Where we're just getting, all right, here's a scene where Melissa and Marge are doing this. Here's a scene where Teresa and Jennifer are doing this. And then at the end of the episode, they all kind of come together, and then you see a little bit of drama. But that's not enough to push the season, and I'm still afraid that the first scene from this season was something that happens 3 months down the line.
Mm-hmm.
That just tells me that this is a boring ass season.
Somebody commented, and it's not a bad comment. They did the same thing with Roslick, and that was a banger. I don't have high hopes.
I don't have high
Just
hopes at
saying,
all.
They led off with the finale in Roslick.
Yeah,
and
they
that
did.
was one of the best seasons of Housewives ever.
But I'm a pessimist, so I'm going to say that Bravo is becoming self-aware, and they realize that did really well.
So
with
now they're just
Roslick.
trying to push it.
Yeah. So they're like, oh, let's do it with all these shows.
I could see that, but what I'm getting from this season is they're just trying to replace Melissa with the Fudas.
Yeah.
Because Melissa won't engage.
I don't know if
with
they're
Teresa.
trying to or the Fudas are trying to, but something's happening.
Put it all together
Yeah.
and then talk about how overproduced this show is
Yeah.
and how much people are trying to move behind
And-
the scenes. They could have, honestly, and we don't like to play this game. We try to stay away from the production aspect other than Vanderpump because, I mean, you had to
You
call
had
it out.
to, yeah.
I could easily see Bravo production going to the Fudas in the offseason and saying, hey, you guys are taking center stage. It's you versus Teresa this year.
Yeah.
Buckle up. And that
It's
sucks.
it's definitely a possibility, but now we can't even discuss the opportunity of, okay, Melissa needs to take a step away and not be on the show anymore because nothing's going to change at that point.
Nope.
Marge is still going to be anti-Teresa, and she's really the one who's the figurehead for all of this, leading against Teresa, and now the Fudas are taking a step up against Teresa, so it's just going to be the same shit. I don't know what you do. You can let everybody just go and then bring in a whole new cast, but I just don't know. I don't think there is a right answer with all of this.
Well, what kind of blows my mind with the whole thing when you look at the two factions facing off against each other, all the drama that we've seen in social media, the things coming out about Fuda dealing drugs, I really genuinely wonder if at the end of all of this, let's say that one of these smear campaigns really works. Let's say you take down a family. Like you really take down a family, all this shit comes out, they get fired, they lose their jobs, houses, all of that stuff. They have kids. Like, are you really going to be happy with that end result on either side?
Depends on who you ask.
That's crazy.
I know one person who probably would be fine with it.
Who?
Marge Jr.
Oh, yeah,
I don't think that she would lose a lick of sleep if that were to happen.
I don't think so either. But like, that's what I come back to and then have to remind myself, this is reality TV. Is it really worth destroying a livelihood on either side of the street for ratings?
No.
I don't think that's the
From
angle
where we
that
sit,
they
no.
should take.
No, it's not. And I just don't know. There's no right answer to this. It's tough to watch. And the whole thing right now is we're spending a lot of time doing like the preamble about this show and the
There's
general
nothing to
state of
talk
it
about.
because there's nothing to talk about. Like aside from what happened at the end of this episode, you could argue that we don't even need to talk about any of the
It's a
shit
lot
that
of
happened in the
filler.
beginning. It's just so much filler and so much of the same shit that we see all the time. And like, I get it. We talk about this in other shows where we want to know what's going on in people's lives. We want to be at birthday parties. We want to be at whatever else might be going on with, Danielle and Nate. And of course, that's a nice story. But when there's nothing of substance, I don't give a shit.
No, those need to be reprieve
They need
moments
to be the
from
filler
the
scenes.
drama.
Yeah,
Yes.
not the mainstays.
Correct. But let's dive into this one. We start out with Danielle and the family. They're doing a photo shoot for Valentina because she's getting into modeling or acting.
Modeling.
All encompassing.
It's all encompassing. And
The child star route.
child star route always makes me uncomfortable.
I don't like the
I
child
don't
star
like
route.
it at all.
I don't like the child star
And
route.
Danielle's talking about how like this is just how I drew it up. This is exactly what's going to happen. Valentina's going to be a star. She's going to be in movies. She's going to win an Oscar, and it starts now. And she needs to get her headshots done again because the last time we did headshots, she was 2. I did not like
I
that.
don't care for
don't
it. I
care
like
for it.
Danielle.
I like
Danielle's
Danielle,
family.
but yeah, child actors, child star.
I
don't like it.
Like the route.
Nope.
Just look at the state of most child actors when they get older. It's a scary route. Okay, I hope
Yeah.
that it all works out. Everything goes well. It's just, yeah, I agree with you. But we find out about Nate had a cyst in his brain, 6 years ago.
Yep.
And obviously a very scary experience, but this is the celebration of that. It's been 6 years since that happened. So Danielle wants to throw like a celebration of life party for him.
Yeah, when I saw the celebration of life thing before we got this scene, I was very confused.
Yeah, well, we didn't have any pretext.
Yeah,
So,
typically that's when somebody passes away. So I was confused.
oh, that's actually a good
The
point.
celebration of life.
Yeah, that's a nicer way of
This
saying
is a literal celebration of life. I was
Which is
very
good.
confused.
Look, it's a very nice
Yeah, no, it's a
sentiment.
very nice sentiment. I was just confused beforehand.
And she frames it as like a middle ground. And hopefully this can just people have perspective and they won't cause a scene.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, Danielle has done a good job of finding herself being in
Switzerland?
an amicable relationship with everybody
No,
else.
she's in the worst position possible.
She is in the worst position
Like,
possible.
literally.
She thinks she's in a really good position because she can talk to everybody and people don't actively hate her. I guess
Mm-mm.
for the most part, aside from Jackie, who we still understand why she hates her because she feels like she took her job.
She
But
did.
She
'cause
did
Jackie
take her
didn't
job.
do
because
anything.
Jackie didn't do anything. But otherwise, she can talk to both sides, which is nice. But you're gonna get thrown under the bus first.
Look at Fessler.
Yep.
She got
Once
immediately.
they're done with Fessler, they're gonna move on to you.
Yeah, like Fessler had one conversation with Teresa, and Fuda knows that they're friends, and it was still like a stab in the back, according to Fuda. So she's in the worst position possible, but she's hoping that this could be a nice night. We get a little glimpse again where she talks about her brother and her relationship with him, and now it's leaking into her relationship with her dad. It's a lot of family drama with Danielle and her crew, but moving on from there, we get Dolores and Polly. We get an update on what Dolo's up to. She's getting ready to get her real estate license again so that she can sell some houses, which would be nice. And her biggest thing is ever since she has been divorced from Frank, there was a period of time where she was not financially independent. Never wants that to happen again. Thought it was interesting that she brings up the divorce again.
Yeah, well,
Still not divorced.
still not divorced, but what am I gonna do?
I think it bugs her.
It definitely bugs
It
her. She
really-
brings it up, and she talked about how everybody else has questions about it basically every day.
Mhm.
I think you also have questions about it every day. You're just not voicing those, and it just comes to
They
show.
probably have. They probably have had this conversation. And she
sure.
doesn't get answers. So now it's like one of those things where it's like, are you going to do it?
Spilling over to her confessionals.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's just eating at her, which sucks because I love Dolores.
yeah. It sucks, and I love Paulie
I
too.
love Paulie,
because
too.
when Paulie goes right into this conversation saying, "I didn't know Italian guys were so soft," fun.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Love it.
because you know what? They are very soft on this show.
Oh, on this show.
On this show.
I'd be like,
whoa. No, I'm not calling out Italians in general. You just went to Italy, had a really nice time.
I had a lovely
Didn't get a
time.
jacket.
Why are you going to bring
I
that
got to
up?
bring it up every time.
Fuck
Because I
you.
want you to get the damn jacket.
Somebody offered to buy it for me in our DMs. They said, we're going to Italy, family trip. Where was the jacket? If we see it, we can pick it up for you. And I said, that's so sweet. Thank you for thinking of me. Spend that money on yourselves.
Yeah, well, you're a better man than I am. Be like,
I
give me
know.
that jacket.
Well, that's everybody knows that. But
Yeah. No, but I love that Paulie can sit in this conversation after what we saw happen at Jen Fessler's surprise party, where Fuda and Louie, Jesus Christ, it doesn't matter. Fuda, who the fuck cares? Fuda and Joey are sitting there just trying to bait Paulie because they know that he's kind of close to Louie. He's just a normal person. He's just trying to have conversations with everybody. You guys are fucking losers for trying to pull this out of him for a guy who just does not want to be part of the drama. Dolores does not want to be part of the drama. Paulie even less. For him to sit there and make fun of them, he's great.
Yep, enjoyed it.
That's what I want. Just keep doing that. And again, he is not really sure what the Jersey Shore is, but he hits the hits the nail on the head. This is our second episode today. Sorry, guys.
You know what happens.
Yeah. He hits the nail on the head immediately and says, do I need to get lines in my head? Do I need to get a haircut where I get lines in my head? You're not wrong.
You'd fit in better.
You'd fit in a lot better.
I love the shore.
Yeah.
I have
So do I.
fully been
Well, that
transitioned
part
to
of
a
the
shore
north
guy.
part of the Jersey Shore, that's where the
Well, that's the New York side. Yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
the different. Like South Jersey, that's the Philly side.
Yeah.
We like the North Wildwood, woo! But moving on, we get Teresa and Louie, and this is nice. They're going to an event for Louie's dad. He's been sober for 8 years. We also find out that his dad was an active alcoholic for most of his childhood, so a tough relationship there, but they have seemed to move past that together, so they're going to celebrate his dad, his 8 years, which is an incredible milestone, so no shade there. It's an awesome event, and they start talking about Nate's party. This is interesting, and this is what I feel like we're going to get all season, which is not interesting because nobody will talk to each other. We're going to get people setting things up alone in their room with their significant other.
Yep.
Because she goes, I'm not talking to Marge. She might as well have turned to the camera for this next line. There's things I can't say because of legal issues. Like, just break the fourth wall and just talk directly to us.
If you can say there's things I can't say because of legal issues with Marge specifically,
Yep.
you can probably say what it is.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. But she's directly talking to us there, and she's like, well, we have the answers. It's not even cryptic. It's just there's something legal that's coming out about Marge, and we have the answers about it. We've got them backed into a corner. How many times have we heard this? We get leaked information. We get this and that. We find out that the leaked information is coming from Teresa and Jen Aiden. It's a goddamn merry-go-round that I want to get off of.
What do you think about Louie's shirt? Did you read the shirt?
Oh, was it the pizza thing?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think that it's ridiculous, and she's wearing a Namaste Bitches shirt. That's like...
Just plugging
guys,
their own shit.
There's a part of me that's like, you know what? Make that paper. But at the same time, it's like, it's like putting an advertisement in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
Like, we get it. I don't know.
Louie wasn't even on the show when that line came out.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. But
with Joe,
he got
which is even
involved-
weirder.
But he got involved with the pizza thing later. The whole thing, it's just overproduction to me. And that takes away from the suspension of belief where you can watch these shows and believe that what you are seeing is reality. That is why we watch. We understand that there's an undertone of fake. We get it. We accept it. We move on from it. But when you keep throwing shit at us in our face, it gets harder and harder to do that. However, we move on from there and we get to Melissa, and it's Adriana's 18th birthday. This whole scene and the scenes that we get thereafter with both Teresa and Louie and their family and Melissa and Joe and their family, all they are trying to do is show the world how much better off they are without the other one and how loving and accepting their families are.
Good.
Cool.
Great.
Yeah.
Fucking just do it. Stop shoving it down our throats.
They do it throughout. I wrote it down multiple times. They're doing it the whole time because the way they're talking, it's like, this family's so supportive and Joe's a part of the family. I did think it was cool when Nick opens up and says, when I came out to you, you were so accepting with open arms, and that's why we want you to officiate the wedding. I don't want to take away from the sentiment there. That was a very sweet and touching scene from Nick. But the underlying tone of all of these scenes with solo families is just, look how much better our family is than their family.
Yeah, it's just fucking sad.
But
at least we don't, and I don't really know what's better, because a couple years ago it was, this scene would have pushed Joe into a situation where he's saying, I need to get back with Teresa, and then we have the awkward get back together, which then blows up 2 or 3 episodes later and we could see it coming. I think I kind of prefer that to this. I don't know, actually. Now I'm not really sure.
It's so...
Maybe I prefer this to that because they're not interacting and it's okay. I don't fucking know.
I don't know, but
I just don't know I don't care.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. I don't care. But we get a scene between Teresa and Gia. Gia is now working in corporate law, doing immigration law because of her dad getting. That's not funny.
It is a
I
little
should be
funny.
laughing.
It is a little funny.
My dad got deported because he broke the law, so now I'm getting into immigration law.
I think it's a nice little backstory.
You know what? It gives substance.
Yep.
It definitely gives her substance to why she's doing what she's doing.
Plays well to a presentation to your colleagues.
It sure does. This is why I'm passionate about this. However, my dad did actually break the law. It's not like he got
he's not
fucked
allowed
by
back to the
justice
country.
system. He legit broke the law and got kicked out. That's
That'd
whatever.
be great to have Joe back on the show, though.
Judice?
Yeah, why not? Bring him back.
Maybe.
Figure it out, Bravo. Get the immigration laws.
No.
Bring 'em
because
back.
I don't need, and I never thought I would say this, I don't need more husbands on this show.
I know.
I don't need the dudes talking.
And I
anymore.
don't think that like somebody like Fuda or even Joe Gorga would stand up to Joe Giudice.
I disagree.
Oh,
I disagree. Joe Giudice, we saw him, last year when they had that reunion with the girls?
yeah.
He doesn't look like Joe Giudice of old, where he's going to get in your face and fuck you up. I think that he still
He's
got
softened out in the hills
I
of
think he's
Italy.
still got that bark in him, but I don't know, man. He's living in the islands now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's in Bahamas
Yeah, so I don't know.
taking pictures with Joey.
My
But nobody. I didn't mean to take that picture.
yeah.
guys. Somebody
shit.
took that picture.
My phone fell and it snapped a pic. Who knew?
I was posing. I don't
Yeah,
know.
what happened. No. By the way, we still need to do our reenactment photos of Joe Gorga and his inspirational quotes.
Oh,
a black T-shirt sitting next to a construction site.
Yeah.
That has to happen.
Yeah.
We'll do a full photo shoot at some point. But Danielle arrives. They're doing some glute sculpting, which we might have to do this too, just to try it out.
Fucking do it.
Just to try it out.
Just do that instead of recapping this show.
That's fine. We'll do a live episode of us getting glute sculpting
Yeah.
together, and we'll see. Maybe
do
that's
it in
more
podcast form so you can just hear us talk.
That would be uncomfortable, I think. But this is side by side with a pickleball conversation between Marge, Fuda, and Melissa. But at the glute sculpting, we find out that Danielle is staying at the Fudas. And to Teresa's credit, she's like, look, I'm never going to tell you who to hang out with. I don't want you to pick sides. Do you, God bless, whatever. She does throw a couple of digs in there, like they can believe what they want to believe. But the overall sentiment is, it's cool, do your thing. I'm not going to get mad at you. Whether that holds true for the entire season, I don't know. But at least she's handling it this way right now.
Yeah.
Only because I'm constantly going to draw comparisons with how each side is handling things, because that's all we got. That's all we got to break down.
All we have to break down is Teresa sitting there saying, I'm not going to tell you who to hang out with. And the other side saying, if you go hang out with them,
Yeah.
I will fucking excommunicate you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we need to we're playing comparison games. But on the other side of the street, at the pickleball, they're talking about what Fuda got in trouble for, which I fucking knew it. He was like 17, he sold some weed. It is not that damning. Yes, technically he broke the law back then,
Yeah,
but we're talking
and
about
there's something
weed.
else now coming out where he was actually 21 and it was narcotics, not weed. But
Oh, see, that's
either
different.
way,
But who
and it's-
leaked that? Was that
who-
Teresa's
the
side?
fuck
Like, who the
knows?
fuck knows?
the whole thing about this is if you're going to do that, you can just lean on the whole, it was 25 years ago or whatever the fuck. I don't know how old he is. It was 20 years ago. I was in a bad way. I had a bad life. I got out of it and I'm a good father.
Boom.
That's all you have to do. You don't have to combat it with, well, she's going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about how, she's the child star, the fucking child star, the poster child for mortgage fraud. It's just like you guys are doing the same shit.
You're on tit for tat.
Like, you
here.
can't get mad that she's saying this when you're also saying that. Like, it's just fucking, who cares?
I firmly hate when the past is brought up to drag somebody when they have changed and are doing better in their life.
Yeah.
I think that's horseshit. Fuda might have gotten in trouble when he was younger. He is a good father. He provides for his
Even
family.
Teresa said that.
She does later, so that's even crazy that she's trying to throw this at him. And on the flip side, Teresa got in trouble for helping her ex-husband evade taxes or whatever the fuck. So she went to jail. She served her time. She moved on.
Yep.
Like, I don't like that this is brought up, and then you get all of these accounts talking about it. Like, he's a piece of shit. Why? Because he fucked up 25 years ago? That doesn't make you a piece of shit. You learn from it, move
You
on,
can
and
say he's a
change.
piece of shit because of what he's doing on the show right now.
That's
That's fine. Do whatever the hell you want if it's current. But bringing stuff up from 25 years ago because his ex-wife or ex-girlfriend or whatever is saying this, it's
And
just
she's in fucking
annoying.
prison right
Yeah.
now. Like, for everyone talking shit, I hope you have the most clear past ever. I hope that you've never done anything wrong, because it's the dumbest shit ever that you're like, he sold weed 25 years ago.
I will say that, like, Fuda pushing whatever he's doing on this show right now does open him up to stuff like that.
Sure. Okay,
If
fair.
you could just chill out. Again, it's called the Real Housewives. So maybe just chill the fuck out and go have fun with the boys and go back to all of that we saw years ago and let the girls do things. Fine.
Just go keep making
People aren't
dick
gonna-
jokes.
And look, it's Jersey, so you might still be collateral damage. If your wife says something that the other side doesn't like and they pull that up, then you can combat it and say, I was just minding my own business. I don't really need to be involved in this. But if you want to be a housewife, which it looks like John Fuda wants to be, yeah, things like this are going to happen. People are going to dig shit up on you.
Let them pull you into the drama.
Yeah.
Don't pull yourself into the drama. That should be all house husbands across the board. But when they ask Fuda, like, would there ever be a bridge forward with Teresa? She says, absolutely not. She's a piece of shit. I got nothing to say to her. The gate's bolted shut. But again, there's no way forward. And now you've got Melissa who won't talk to Teresa. You've got Fuda who won't talk to Teresa. You've got a Potomac situation now where no one's talking to anybody. And we saw what happened to Potomac. Poof, you lost most of the cast.
Yeah.
So
I don't understand this, and we saw this last year where Rachel is, you're a newbie. Like, find your own way. Don't immediately pick a side.
that's what's unfortunate.
And then try to lead the charge, because that's exactly what Marge wants you to do. And you're fine and happy doing that. I don't care, whatever. It just doesn't make any sense because, yeah, what? You're gonna blame Teresa for drudging up all this stuff about John's past. Fine, I don't care. But to take that firm stance and say, I'm not gonna go and talk to that, you're just creating more of the same that we've seen, which is unwatchable.
I think that they think they understand the assignment. They're like, all right, it's time for us to step up. And they've had powwows together.
She could just be like Danielle and you can float between the groups, and then the two of you as newbies can try to formulate some sort of opinion or potentially draw people out who are tired of this and create a new group that's all about the show.
That would be great.
That would be great,
Here's-
but neither of them are powerful enough to do that, and neither of them can actually do that because they're stuck in their own ways. Danielle's trying, but she's going to go right under the bus immediately, just like Fessler did. And Rachel, for whatever reason, is picking a side very strongly.
Well, here's the difference. Danielle tried to play the game last year and got fucking crushed.
Yeah, she did.
She got smoked not only by Teresa and that group, but she got smoked by Fuda herself.
Yep.
So now she is a little bit more wary. I think she came to play better this year. She's not picking a side.
Yep.
She's seeing how things go. Fuda didn't have that rude awakening.
Nope.
So now she's stepping into season 2 with a void because Melissa has taken a step back. And she's like, now it's my time to shine.
But
That's
if
the
she
vibe
wants
I'm
to
getting.
go up against Teresa, she'll get crushed, and Marge will not be there to help her.
I agree. And
That's what's going to happen.
I think that that's what people need to understand. And even you and I, who do not like Teresa, Teresa is the show. Whether you like her or not, whether you like it or not, Teresa is Jersey.
Honestly, I think I like Teresa more than most people on the show right now.
At least she's staying true to form.
Yeah.
Everything else is a fucking cluster. So I don't know.
Call me a tree stand.
I will, you stump. But we get Fuda and the Fesslers or the Fudas and the Fesslers, and they're talking about Teresa at the party. And this is where you start to see like a crack in this friendship because Rachel's asking Fessler, like, why are you friends with her? And this was a great response here. She's like, look, she fights dirty, but I think that everybody in this group talks a lot of shit. Everyone goes low. She's not doing anything that the other women aren't doing. And you could argue that Teresa set that precedent, sure, but that's how the game's played in this show. Everyone talks shit about everybody else. They say really mean things. They try to reel it back in when they have those fake moments where they come back together. They never last very long. But that's a good stance for Fessler to take. It's like, look, you want me to pick sides? Everyone's throwing shit at each other.
Yep.
Like, I'm going to stay in the middle and not catch the heat. But that's not sustainable, as we find out later. But Danielle arrives, and also interesting here, she's walking in, they're getting out of the car. She highlights the same thing. She's like, I don't like being put in the middle of this. Clearly, leading up to the season, a firm line in the sand was drawn by the Fudas, where it's like, we are not fucking with them this year. And now they are clearly, and we've seen them talk about it ad nauseum behind closed doors. She brings it up every chance she gets at pickleball, now here at the house with Fessler, and then Danielle's walking in. This really, really not pissed me off, but just irritated the shit out of me because Danielle walks in the house. She's like, can we just make tonight about Nate? It's about Nate. Everyone be cool. I don't know if he's trying to sound like a tough guy. I don't know what this angle was, but Fuda's like, sometimes you get pushed, you got to push back. Someone pushes you kind of weird. No, he had a cyst on his brain, and it's a night for him. Let's not get pushed. Don't put yourself in a position to be pushed.
No, it's just the agenda that the Fuda's already decided that they're going to do. And I don't know if it's Rachel leading it or John leading it. I don't really care because it's just annoying at this point. And it is really smart of Danielle to walk in and say that. I don't know what she thought was going to happen. I don't know if she thought that these people were going to all of a sudden be reasonable, because they're not reasonable people.
Nobody
We've
is
seen
on the
them.
show.
No one is on this show. You can't walk into a room and say, let's just make this about Nate. And that's, again, why I'm saying this side is way less tolerable than the other side, because if Danielle had walked in to Teresa, Jen, and whoever else might be over there and said, hey, can we just make this night about Nate? Both of them would say, absolutely.
It wouldn't be true. They'd fucking
It might
blow
not
it later,
be true,
but they would play along.
They would say, yeah, absolutely. You walk into this side, they're like, fuck no, absolutely not. If they say anything to me, I'm going to do it no matter the time or the place.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's frustrating, dude. But then everyone's on their way to the party, and you get this same scene again where the cars are split. You get different parties traveling. Teresa talking about how lucky she is. The sobriety thing went amazing, and she's so fortunate that she's seen this big, loving family. Flash over to Melissa's car, and she's so happy and has this loving, supporting family, and they accepted Joe, and it's just so nice. We get it. This is a dick measuring contest of who's got a better family now that your family is separated. That's a weird
That's
thing.
all it is, yeah. It's very weird.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what we're focused on this
That's
season.
the show.
That's not good TV.
No, it's not.
I would love to hear, genuinely, this is not trying to like poke the bear of anyone enjoying this season. Please send us a DM and explain to us what about this season is palpable.
It's such a funny thing to say after the second episode.
I know. It's nuts. And look, yes,
Usually we let things cook for a little while. Usually we let things go, and we don't say that until like episode 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever. When we get more of the same and more of the same and we're tired of it, we'll then put a poll out to the audience and say, are you enjoying this season? And if so, why? We're doing this 2 episodes in because we already know how this is going to go. It's going to be the exact same format every single episode, where we just bounce from group to group to group to group and see what they're bitching about now.
Yep.
And it's always about the other side, or it's always a dick measuring contest. And then at the end, there's some event that they all contractually have to go to, and something will happen. It's not a huge blow up, at least probably until the end of the season, but there's always, 1 or 2 people that are going to be into a fight. And then that carries us to the next episode where they debrief with their groups. It's just so fucking annoying.
that was a perfect explanation
Yeah.
of the format of this
It's
show.
the format of the show, and
Yeah.
they all know their assignments.
Yeah, but on the way there, you do get Danielle talking about not inviting Jackie, and I had forgotten all the mean shit that Jackie said last year, talking
Yeah.
about her clothes, calling her trashy, calling her cheap.
And
Like,
clearly Jackie's still on it too, because she walked into Fessler's party and immediately said that Danielle didn't say hi to
She
me.
did.
Is she still mad about that? Like, yeah, she probably is, and she did say hi.
she said hi, and have you
Get off of it.
apologized yet for like talking shit about? I will never be cool with people talking shit about other people's like style, or calling somebody trash is such a shitty thing to do.
Yeah.
I hated that. So yeah,
It'll be interesting to see when Jackie flips sides and goes to Teresa's side if Danielle's there and we get some sort of interaction with them. But who knows when that's going to happen? I don't know.
we'll find out. But we get to Nate's party. Literally nothing happens until Teresa gets there, and shout out to the choir. I don't know why they did voiceovers during their performance. Like, I actually was like, oh, they traveled from DC to be here. I want to hear this choir for a little bit. They didn't give them any airtime other than like 5 seconds maybe. But that's my point. That's what I'm looking in this
Did they
show.
go right from the choir to Marge asking the entire group of women who's on their second marriage?
That was before the choir.
That was before? Okay.
Yeah. The second wife's always better. Or something
Sure,
like
whatever,
second marriage.
Marge.
Yeah, and I don't know who that other person was that got dragged into it.
It was one of Nate's friends' wives.
I know what it was.
Yeah,
I don't know
but,
what
like,
she's doing.
Again, this is what's going on. We're just having conversations with people that we don't even
With
know.
randos.
Bringing them into it, giving them a little name tag, and there's no real substance to the conversation. It's Marge asking that, which is just a fucking weird question. Like, everything that she says, everything that she does, even her confessional back to the pickleball thing, where she's like, yeah, I don't really care about any of these hobbies unless, like, I'm fucking the guy that's training
Yeah.
me. It's like, shut up, Marge. Like,
Poor Joe.
yeah, poor Joe, and let's get into their whole marriage, because there's no way that they're happy, and we know that at the end of the season that there's something going on there. So let's get into some of that.
I would love that, but we're not gonna.
No, we're not going
Maybe
to.
we will. Who knows?
I don't know.
Time will tell, as it always does. But Fessler asks to borrow Jen Aiden's pen. Thought that was really funny. Hey, you got some weed on you? She's like, I got my
Yep.
pen. Like, hell yeah, let me get that pen, brother. And she goes and talks to Teresa. And they're talking about the alleged statements made at the reunion last year.
I don't think it's alleged.
It's
They
not. It's
happened.
confirmed here, I guess, but it's also, she doesn't say exactly what was said.
Right.
But Frank said that everyone had met before the reunion. Again, that's not weird to me. That seems pretty par for the course. What was the conversation? It's like, well, we knew that Louie had the PI. Fucking Bo Dietz is back. Bo Dietl. Haven't talked about him in a while, but Bo Dietz is back. And look, we heard that she had a PI, so we were trying to put things together. All right, if they come with this, we've got this. If they come with that, we've got this. And she brings up the whole, well, we heard that you said that we didn't execute the plan correctly. And she then breaks down what we were talking about, and I think a lot of people talked about. There was envelopes, there was alleged recordings, there was all of this evidence that we supposedly had. None of it was used.
Yep.
So yeah, at the end of it, she says, like, this was not executed correctly.
We honestly thought that it was used. It just got cut because it's not useful information.
Not pertinent, yeah.
Now it seems like they didn't use it in the first place. So what's the whole point of you guys meeting the night before? Which, again, I will say, not very shocking. I bet it happens on every franchise that each group or each whatever goes and meets up. Even if it's the entire cast, they probably sit down and say, what are we going to talk about? It's not that surprising at all. So the fact that this happened is not something that I think even Teresa is surprised about. It's more so just the comments of what was the game plan and what were they trying to do, because nobody knows what they were trying to do. You guys were completely running around and not bringing any evidence to the table when you said you had evidence.
Well, what annoys me about it is Teresa's acting like, oh my God, they're trying to take us down. They're trying to take Louie down, this and that. It's like, your man hired a PI.
Yeah.
We know that. You have also been outed for leaking shit to content creators. So, like, this is where I start to get annoyed again by the show. It's like, look, everyone's moving in shady ways. I don't know why on earth you would call this shit out when your side of the street is not clean.
Yeah.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But that's, I guess you could say, the beauty of Teresa in some way, shape, or form is that even when presented with damning evidence, she says it's untrue.
Yeah, well, the untrue part was specifically about Louie calling Marge's son at work.
Yeah, which I believe happened.
Which I don't know anymore because Marge supposedly had a recording and didn't play it.
That's a valid point.
Why wouldn't you play it? And it's Marge, so I doubt anything that she says. So if that's the one thing that she's going to hone in on and she's accepting the rest of it, saying, yeah, Louie did actually hire a PI and dug up some information. That's what Louie did. That's his agenda. I was out of it. I'm not playing that fucking part anymore. Sure, I believe that, Teresa. I don't think that Louie even called Marge's son at this point because Marge isn't showing us that he did.
That's a fair assumption. I don't know. I still think he did because
there's a good chance that he did
nuts.
because he's definitely nuts. But there's also a good chance that he didn't because I don't believe a word that Marge says.
Valid. See, you can't believe anybody on this goddamn show. But I will say this is the moment where we get Teresa talking about John Fuda because Fessler brings up the drug dealing thing. She's like, did you mean now or back when he was like 17 years old? And she's like, oh no, like back in the day. What I see now is a good father, a good businessman, this, that, and the other thing. It's like, say that to him.
Yeah.
Say that. Squash this nonsense beef you have going.
Wouldn't squash it. If she said that to him, he would be like, oh, fuck, like that was my whole thing. What am I going to do now? And he would still just go after her.
How do we know that though? But here's my point. If you are
know
willing to say nice things and confirm that you weren't saying that this is him now, let's try a different tactic because this tactic's not working.
The tactic's not working, but also I don't blame Teresa for not going to him and doing that because you don't know what that's going to end up being. Her saying it to Fessler could relate to Fessler going back to the group and saying this is what she said, a little whisper down the lane. So maybe that's what she was doing because, again, I don't blame Teresa for not going to that group. Why would you even want to talk to any of them anyway? They're just going to spin it and make you out to be an asshole. Same with what you guys would do if Marge came over and started talking. So it's just, I don't know what the whole point of any of that is. I never really took it to be Teresa was saying that he's currently a drug dealer. I mean, it's the same thing
I didn't either.
It's the same thing as what he says to her. So it's just, the whole thing's fucking stupid.
Well, the last part we get is Fuda asking that rando. I even wrote, Fuda asks a rando about scenario.
Uh-huh.
Like, would you be cool with this if your friend did that? And she's talking about Fessler, and she's clearly pissed off and goes to her confessional, and she's like, I feel betrayed. It's like, why do you feel betrayed? You knew that they were friends. You knew they were friends. And here's where you're going to lose this bullshit battle because Teresa is going to be able to say, I never told Danielle not to be friends. Why is she telling you what to do? Why are you listening to her? Why are you friends with somebody that's going to
Just
try to
push
police
people
you?
that way.
Exactly.
If you cut people off because they simply talk to someone else, and we've already got Dolores in the middle, we've got Fessler in the middle, but Fessler's a little more involved than Dolores is. You're going to cut Fessler off. Fessler's going to go over to Teresa because she's friends with Teresa. Why would I go hang out with these people who are going to treat me like that just for talking to a friend? Okay, there you go. You already lost Danielle down. Danielle's going to start going that way. So what do you actually think you're going to be able to do? And is this show just going to turn into the Fudas and Marge going after them? Because that's not fun either. Nothing is fun about the show.
I want to see Danielle, Fessler, and Dolores branch out.
They can branch out, but they'll just be middlemen. They'll just sit there and be
Fine.
like, well, this is
No,
fucking crazy,
I'm saying
guys.
focus on them and
Yeah.
see what they're up to. Maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows? Because
I don't
this,
I don't know if any of them can carry a show, though.
well, neither can the people doing it right now.
No.
Again, I don't like Teresa.
Yeah.
She is the show. I'll give her that. I don't think anybody can take that away from her. But this is not working. And anyone out there that thinks it is, again, no shade. Tell us why. Why is this show working for you? And it can't just be, I love Teresa. It has to be an actual explanation as to why this drama is good and worth watching. Because from what I've seen, 2 episodes in, this is a repeat of last year. They've just removed Melissa and stuck the Fudas in her place.
Yeah.
Questions.
Let's get to some questions. And I imagine that all of these questions, a lot of them are going to be redundant. So I will get to the ones that I can. Amazing Raccoon says, is this watchable? No,
Not really.
not really. Oh, this is a good one. I think this is from a Brav Bro. I can't really click on the profile. Can you jump in watching any Housewives at any season, or do you have to start at season 1? Also, which Housewives should I invest in?
Great question. You don't have to jump in season 1. You will miss some of the references, and people that watch the shows religiously will get mad at you for not knowing the references. But you can jump in. I would say go back at the very least. Go back at least 1 season. If you really want to get the pulse of where they're at, go back 2 seasons and then jump in. That's probably mine. And I would say, honestly, because it's still early on, just start with Roslick. Start season 1 of Salt Lake because season 1 and 2 were great. Struggle through season 3, watch season 4, and I think you'll be hooked.
Yeah, that's a good way to do
Or
it.
you could go back, like old school RHONJ is great. But if you want to be a little bit more current, I would say start Roslick season 1. That's Salt Lake if you're not up on the lingo.
Yeah,
My
we got
Brav
some
Bro.
lingo here. This is a little bit of a crossover question from Jess Brum. If it's wrong for the Valley to ice out Kristen, isn't it also wrong for the Jersey ladies to ice out Tree?
They're not icing her out.
I don't really think
Half
that
of
they're
them
ice-
are, but
half of them are, half of them aren't. But like, it's not like the show is centric around Marge and the Fudas. Like,
Yeah,
we get
it's
both
not an
sides.
ice out. You got 2 sides.
But also, to answer the question, it's not right for either show
it's
to
not
ice
correct.
anyone out. It's
Yeah.
not right for any show to ice anybody out because they're cast members and they're involved in the show too. From Madison Centofanti, apologies if I said that wrong. Who do you think is more calculated in producing, Teresa or Marge?
I think that Teresa's a little bit more clumsy with it, but Marge plays aloof all the time.
Yeah,
I don't
Marge
know.
is I think Marge is 1,000% more calculating.
I think
I
Marge
think
is
her
way
entire
more
life
Is
is-
that the question?
Yeah,
Who's more calculating?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was different.
no,
Oh, Marge.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think her entire life is the show and how
No,
she can.
fuck that. No, I disagree. I think Teresa does a better job at waylaying it because, as we have seen in social media, she's been feeding accounts for God knows how long. So
Yeah.
Teresa. But to say that Marge isn't doing the same is probably bullshit too. She's probably out there doing the same thing. They're all calculated, all of them. That's why this show's not fun to watch.
Jazane asks, bros, be honest. Jen Fessler, Judas or Switzerland?
Switzerland. She's been
not-
honest about where she
And
stands.
to be fair, if Fessler was closer to the Teresa side, or the Teresa side rather was more of the, oh, we're going to cut her off because she's talking to Marge or Fuda or whatever, we would still say she's Switzerland.
Yeah, I don't
It
see
doesn't
her.
fucking
yeah.
matter.
She's normal.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah. We'll do one more here. The Wanderlust _stay. Should I just say Wanderlust?
No.
Wundersex?
Fucking Euro trip callback.
Yeah. Do you think RHONJ should go on pause, recast,
Yes.
then reboot?
Yep,
Yeah.
all of it, all the above.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you need to take out some of the mainstays. I'm saying they need to rethink their approach because this isn't working.
It's not working. But yeah, that's all we got.
Well, we'll see what this season amounts to be. I don't know. Like maybe they have an ace in their sleeve and they're gonna pull something out last minute that's gonna be captivating. I'm not sure. I said this on episode 1. There's something about this show that I don't know resonates with me, and it could just be the fact like proximity to Jersey, where like they're more relatable. But I want it to be good. People think that we want to hate watch shows. I promise you, we don't. Like we want to enjoy the show, and I think that there is a way for Jersey to become great again. But I don't see how they're going to do that with the current state it's in.
Yep. Agreed.
But other than that, you got anything else?
Nope.
Well, remember to sign up for our members program, Bravo Bros members. The link is in our bio, $5 for the month or $50 for the year. Quick plug for Boston. The last we checked, there was only 7 tickets left. So if you are planning on going to Boston and haven't gotten your ticket yet, I would do it immediately because they might already be sold out. We don't want you to miss out if you want to come out to the show. So go check on those tickets. City Winery, Boston, June 14th. It's a Friday night. Phil's play Thursday night. So if you're from Philly, make a date out of it. That's what we're doing. We're going Phil's Thursday night, live show Friday night, Boston, baby.
Hell yeah.
Other than that, Bravo Bros are out of here.
Later.